1985, we had the second wave of Transformer toys had just been released, and in that release was this guy. Yeah, we're looking at Omega Supreme.
Welcome to Fanatic Farms.
Guys, welcome back to a Fanatic Farms video. And as I said, we are looking at Omega Supreme from Generation 1, and yeah, this is a weird toy. When it came out, the second wave came out. In Europe and Japan, we didn't get this figure. I say we, I was born that year, so I didn't notice. But yeah, due to licensing laws and that kind of stuff, Europe and Japan didn't get the Omega Supreme release when it first came out. The closest we got was 1991, I think it was, with Omega Spree, the Action Master Transformer thing that was in, well, this thing. Yeah, rubbish. But yeah, Omega Supreme started out in the toy world as Super Change Robo Mech Bot 1. Sorry, I keep looking, I have to look at my notes. By a toy company called Toybox. And that was actually they didn't design it, it was commissioned by Tomy to design it and make the toy, and then they released it. And they did the same thing with Skylinks, which is kind of cool. And also Omega Supreme was the very first battery-powered moving Transformer toy to be released under the blanket of the Transformer name. So that's kind of cool. Its origins are weird. In the comic, he's an Earth-built robot. Yeah, Optimus Prime gets Grapple to build him in the Marvel Comics as a defender and guardian of the Ark. Which, yeah, kind of cool, but a bit boring. The cartoon, the G1 cartoon series, though, was a lot better. And, you know, a lot of you that watch this probably have seen the G1 cartoon or know what I'm talking about. But in that, Omega Supreme is over 11 million years old. And he was originally a Dark Guardian, which the Quintessons built to, you know, police and intimidate the robot slaves, which then eventually become the Decepticons, the Autobots, and stuff like that. And then during, what was it? Thanks to A3, the earlier form of Alpha Trion, they uploaded a program into the Guardians which allowed them to be reprogrammed and become Sentinel Guardians during the golden age of Cybertron, when the Quintessons are left and all the Autobots were all happy. Well, Transformers, shall I say, were happy. But then in that, for some unknown reason, one Guardian had sentience like the rest of the robots. You know, the Guardians were originally just mindless automatons. But there was this one that gained sentience and also had a unique color scheme of reds and yellows, which turned out to be Omega Supreme. And then he was the guardian of Crystal City and befriended the builders of Crystal City, which was 6 Transformers, which would then later on become the Constructicons after... Here we go. This is like so weird. Megatron's Robo Smasher robot reprogrammed them to become Decepticons because they were originally Autobots. And then they tricked Omega Supreme to going somewhere else. They destroy Crystal City, which pissed off Omega. So then he fights the Constructicons. They become Devastator. There's a big fight. The Robo Smasher tries to reprogram Omega to make him a Decepticon, which then causes his weird speech pattern. If you've seen the cartoon, you know it's very simplistic because the Robo Smasher took all his emotions away apart from revenge and anger towards the Constructicons. And then there's this big rivalry throughout the entire G1 series of Omega and Devastator being mass rivals. But then there's one episode where Omega sits down with Optimus Prime and he speaks to him normally. So he can talk normally. It's not a very bland, muted kind of unemotional responses that he usually gives. But yeah, so that's Omega. And he's also, like I say, in the cartoon, he is like, he becomes the Autobots transport from Earth to Cybertron or interplanetary, but he's not very good at it. You watch the episodes, he crashes a lot, or he ends up having to stay in his vehicle mode because he's overused his power or something like that. He's for something that's meant to be able to lift 11,000 tons or something like that, and he's got that like super blaster arm and stuff. He's not very good when it comes to long distance traveling. And the other thing that always made me laugh at the cartoons is, he takes off in his rocket mode and lands, but then when he lands, his entire base mode, which he leaves behind when he takes off, is there as well. So somehow he managed to, I know there's mass compression stuff in the cartoons and the comics, but yeah, it always makes me chuckle that he'll land on Cybertron and all of a sudden all his stuff's there as well. And also he's very absent in the Transformers movie. But if you read the comic, it turns out that himself, Superion, Defensor, I think that's it actually. They stay behind and protect the Ark from Bruticus. I think Triptychon actually turns up at that point as well. But yeah, there's a big fight at the Ark when the Battle of Autobot City is going on in the movie, and Omega and the Combiners, they all stay behind to protect them and they get destroyed. But yeah, let's just scroll down my notes because I'm now rambling and we haven't even got to the thing. So yeah, as I say, 1985 came around, Europe didn't get it. The next time we would see the toy be released was the 2008 re-release series known as Encore, which is what I got. So this is mine, and it's in Japanese. It's not in English, and my box is old and beaten. I had this on display in my bedroom, well, my old toy room in my old place, and it is filthy and dusty and that lot. But yeah, that's the front of the box, and my light is going to be a pain in the neck, so I'll put a picture of it here. But yeah, this is the front of the box, and yeah, it's wicked. You've got the light up features. Sorry, I'm having to look at the box. The awesome image of Omega. I just love it. And then the back of the box, we have the product shop, the battle scene and all of the G1 Transformer toys, and then we have the conversion as well here, and like the features. Again, I'll just get rid of the box and let's put another one up here so we can see it. Yeah, like I say, this guy is the first motorized toy we ever got for G1 Transformers, and the original Omega. There's a difference between the original Omega and the Encore one. Is the original Omega didn't have a face. It was a bit like Ironhide and Ratchet. They just didn't have a face. He just has a visor. So the Encore version, they kind of sculpted a little face into it. It's not the greatest. It doesn't look like the show. But at least they tried. But yeah, so let's just bring... And Omega Supreme is pretty much what you would define as the very first parts former as well. Because unlike all Transformers where they convert and they mold together and stuff like that, this guy, he literally he has to take all this apart, all the base apart, and put it on Omega. But yeah, so you have Omega Supreme, and this is pretty much his base mode. So you've got this track, the rocket, and the launch pad-ish thing, and then you've got the tank as well. And like I say, this is motorized, so pray, because it's noisy as hell, but it's an 80s toy, so what do you expect? But yeah, that's it. He will just run round. Like I say, that's it. He will just go round and round the track in his tank mode, which is this guy here. There we go, you can see. This is Omega in his tank mode. And yeah, like I say, there's the head on-off switch there. And then you've got his rocket. And like I say, mine was on display for years, so it is a bit dusty and dirty. Let's get my head out of the way. There you go. And his claw arm. But yeah, this would, like I say, in a cartoon, the rocket would take off like that. And then when he lands back on Cybertron or Earth, all this stuff would appear. They managed to compress it all into the rocket. And you know what? I don't really mind that too much. This is freaking awesome. It's a parts former. So what you have to do is take this all apart and put it on this thing. So I was going to show you how it's done, but then it will take forever and a day, and this video will be like 3 hours long. So bear with me. I'm going to do it. I'm going to speed it up, and then I'll show you Omega, and we'll go from there. All right, cool. So guys, this is him. This is Omega Supreme in his robot mode. And Jesus Christ, this guy is so cool. I didn't do his tech spec a minute before I transformed him, and that is solely because that is the card I have. I don't speak that language, but I have found it on the internet. So we have strength is a 10. Obviously, this thing is immense. Intelligence is a 5, which before the Robo Smasher got him, I would have put about 7 or 8. But yeah, that's about right. Speed is 3. Yes, he is a very, very slow moving Autobot. Endurance 10. If endurance is saying he can take a beating and go like do well in battle, yeah, sure. But long haul flights and stuff like that from Earth to Cybertron, then I would give it a 5. Rank is a 7, so he's really high up in things, but then of course he is Omega Supreme, he is wicked. Courage is 10, no denying that. Firepower is 10, yep. And skill is 6, so yeah, he's kind of a badass really. His bio says, the ultimate warrior in the last line of Autobot defense. Great strength, even greater courage. Protects the Ark and all else vital to his cause. In robot mode, Omega Supreme can shatter a mountain, lift 300,000 tons, which I said was 11,000 tons earlier, so I got that really wrong. Yeah, lift 300,000 tons of his claw arm and destroy 12-inch steel cube. Why would you have a 12-inch steel cube? But with his plasma blaster arm, which is this one, can change to laser cannon tank and launching pad with rocket. So yeah, 300,000 tons with this hand and a 12-inch steel cube with this thing. Articulation though, here down, nothing at all because of the walking features, so the legs do not move, they're static. The arms can they do rotate 360 at the shoulders. He does have elbow articulation as well, and can rotate and lift up ever so slightly. We'll do it easy on this one. And also the claw hand can open up, and it can close as well. And then this arm's the same, apart from he has no hand, it's just his gun. Ooh. And the head does rotate, and in this mode as well you can turn his head round, so he is using his cannon. And like I said, the original Omega Supreme didn't come with a face. It was just an orange visor, that was it. So being the Encore, they've given him this kind of face, literally just eyes. which is kind of reminiscent of Omega Supreme in the TV show. You know, his face was always behind the orange visor. But yeah, that's that. And then just a quick comparison. I have my knockoff Devastator, which is really badly broken. So bear with me. So that is my knockoff G1 Devastator. Ooh, he says. Oh, crikey. I don't want this to fall apart. So yeah, G1 Devastator, Omega Supreme. And in the comics, that's about right as well. In the comics and in the... Oh, I don't know about the comics. In the cartoon, this is about right for the scale between the two of them. So you can see why there's this rivalry between them, why it's such cool seeing them fighting that lot. Just, yeah. Let's move you away. If you hear a crash, it's that falling over. And then, you know, we've got my actual G1 Constructicons, and let's see if Omega Supreme can hold him. Yeah, there we go. And then just a little size comparison as well. There we go. But yeah, he is just a wicked toy. And also, let's just see if I can do this. It's only that way. Take that out. But yeah, it is a noisy. You can hear me over this. It is a very noisy toy and very slow at walking. But yeah, that was the motorized feature, and you can see that the head still flashes. He walks. I'm gonna have to try and get like a foot race thing going on between this guy, my Zoidzilla that's just as noisy as this, Skylinks when I can find him, and if I ever do find it, Tripticon as well. I think that'd be quite funny just seeing who would win in a race between these guys. But yeah, so this was it. This is Omega Supreme, and like I say, he's a freaking awesome toy. If you can get it, definitely get him if you're a G1 fan. I was always tempted to buy the Titans version, you know, the huge one. But I never had the money, I never had the space. Like this Omega, he's in the loft now. Just because I don't have space for him, but I wish I did, because again, look at this thing. He is just super, super cool. And, oh, that is one of the downsides. With like being a part former, he is held together with little clips like these. So there's so many easy lost pieces to this guy as well. And before we go, like I say, parts former, so I do have spare pieces. 4 pieces of track. And I do see people, they do attach it to Omega, and I will show you why I don't do that, because I think it looks so stupid. Yeah, I just think that looks ridiculous. Just walking around with this giant pieces of track on his back, it just, yeah. It's not the greatest look, but I do see people display him like that, and I suppose they do it so they don't lose the pieces, but yeah, it's not right in my mind. Omega doesn't look like that in the cartoon, so I don't do that. I just use the shorter pieces. Like so. And before I go as well, this thing takes 2 AA batteries, and don't do what I do and leave the batteries in, and then you have to spend ages cleaning the battery connection points, clean all the murk off and that lot, because it just takes time. So yeah, if you store this guy, store him without batteries in, trust me. But yeah, this is it, guys. Thank you very much, and until the next time, take it easy. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Tell me if you had this toy. Tell me if you want this toy. I try and reply to every comment I get. I really appreciate it. And also, give me some ideas for a next Transformer review. I generally have a lot of the G1 toys. So what you want to see next, what do you want to see me Butcher reviewing next, let me know. All right, guys. Take it easy. I'll see you soon. Bye.